Hi guys, I'm Lael.
And I'm Courtney.
And welcome to our new All the Drama podcast, where two best friends talk about
Korean,
Japanese,
Thai,
and Chinese dramas. So sit back and listen while we rant and ramble about the scenes that made us cry, laugh, and squeal with excitement.
Now girl, tell me all the drama.
Hey guys, today we're going to be discussing Go Ahead.
It's a Chinese drama. Mm-hmm. There's about 40 episodes. You can stream it on Viki, also on YouTube. I prefer Viki though.
Yeah, Viki's better. The best thing about having adult money is you can subscribe to things. And really, it's just this wholesome slice of life drama.
Yeah.
It's really great.
The way that I describe it is it's kind of like feeling like coming home, like my coming home drama. That makes sense?
Yeah, it's just, you just watch it when you just want something to go good.
Yes. Basically, two single dads come together to raise their kids, and they grow up, and it's a very focused, family
really
dynamic, family-oriented type of series. Before we do that, I want to preface, this is a Chinese drama. We are trying the very best with our names, and we mean no disrespect if we do not pronounce those names correctly.
Right.
We are trying our best. It is a bit difficult for us. So
we're just going to give them nicknames, honestly. We can say Jian Jian, the little sister. That's fine.
So
Ling
there's...
Xiao is big bro. And then the pronunciation one that I mess up is He Z is little big bro.
Also affectionately called Zozo.
I don't remember that in the drama.
I swear it's in the drama. Someone comment and let us know, because I swear I remember them calling him Zozo.
This. So we're just going to call them affectionately by their nicknames, Big Bro, Little Big Bro, and then Jian Jian.
Yeah.
Just so nobody gets confused. So let's talk about our favorite character, which is Jian Jian's dad.
Yeah.
And then the dad's friendship.
Absolutely. I love this man. I'm going to be real with you. I'll be real. I had a conundrum because I watched this when this came out in, 2020?
Yeah.
And that was, we're in 2024 now, so that was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And 4 years ago was a very different life for me.
It's COVID, man.
It was COVID, and I was younger, and, you know, watching this again, I'm not gonna lie, I was more attracted to the dad than the main guys. The boys.
It's only 4 years, but yeah, we're like, no,
something changed in 4 years. The dad can hit it. The dad can hit it.
Jian Jian's dad can.
Yeah, he's a hot motherfucker. I'm gonna be real with you. Like, it's not his looks. He is cute. He is cute.
He's good for his age, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the fact that I completely fell in love with him because of how he falls in love with these kids. Like, he just... To see a man, first of all, to see a single father be such a great father.
Involved in his daughter's life and kid's life, and just shows all that love and
shows
support.
Up. That is an attractive quality. That's attractive trait for me. What's also attractive to me is the fact that this man can look at these two children, two boys, see that they're in need, and just instantly takes them in and says, "You're my kids now.
And
You're my
sons."
He
can. He doesn't overstep.
No.
He just simply does what he can.
Yep.
And part of his personality is why I think Jian Jian's the way she is.
Absolutely.
Okay, the funny thing is like, Jian Jian's the complete opposite of her dad.
Yes,
she's strong-headed. She's free-spirited. But that comes in part with her dad being so supportive the way he is.
He cultivated it.
Yes. And you don't see that very much in Chinese dramas.
No.
You see them, you're like, you have to do good in school. Well, she went into the arts. She was crap at school.
And he was okay with her being crap in school.
He was okay.
I've never seen that before.
Their little scene when he goes to the parent-teacher conference.
Yeah. It was so freaking cute.
It was so adorable. I loved it so much when he was just like, they got scolded by the teacher because both of them were like talking.
Yeah.
And it was just so
cute.
Daughter-father
And what
scene.
I loved about it was he wasn't encouraging her to just not do work or do homework or anything. He was just like, as long as you're doing the best you can, and then I'm proud of you.
Something you love.
And something you love, I'm proud of you. And that's what I loved about this man.
Support.
Because that's support. And he had it for all of the kids across the board. You know, he was fine with whatever they wanted to do as long as they were happy. That's what his goal was.
Yeah.
Was to have his kids grow up and be happy.
And you don't get that. You see so many kids unhappy.
Yeah. And a lot of females, too, in the Chinese dramas we've watched, in other Chinese dramas, and not just in Chinese, but in Asian dramas in general, we see where if there is a female lead who does have a fiery spirit, you do see that people in her family, parents,
they don't
try to
support
kind
it.
of beat that down.
They break it. They try to.
And
we understand. It's a different cultural thing. We understand that, but it still hurts.
But it's it is why I love this series as much as I love it, because you see this father who could act in the cultural way, who could be stern, who could, set these high expectations, but he doesn't.
Right.
He just wants to love his kid, and he wants his kid to be happy and healthy.
And she grew up beautifully.
And you have that fiery, intense spirit
Yep.
because it was cultivated.
Yep.
And I love that.
Allowed to
I
grow.
love that.
Yeah. Moving on to the parents, the shit parents. Can they just stop coming back into their lives? I get for the plot, but like, come on.
Yeah.
They're happy. Leave them be.
Why do you, especially with Ling Xiao's mother, are you so intent on destroying this boy?
So let me first talk about Little Big Bro's mom, because
Okay. Let's go
while
into
we hated her, and we do still kind of hate her, and I really don't believe anything she says. First, she said she was, I don't know, she
had a lot of
she was,
excuses.
she had a lot of excuses. Honestly, didn't really pay attention which story was the truth. Probably the last one. And her whole side story with the kid, I just kind of ignore it. But the only reason she redeems herself is, one, she doesn't ever make excuses for the decisions she's made.
Yep.
She always owns up. She's like, you're a better father. You took him in. He's your son. I know that. I see that. And while I'll do anything I can for him, I do know that while I did give birth to him, I'm no longer his mother.
And I appreciate that. She makes a point to stay out of the way for him.
But she does help him behind the scenes. Like, she calls the dad up and she's like, you piece of shit. Give him his money, and I can't believe you did that. And he does, and the dad does.
The bio dad.
And that's why I kind of forgive her, and why I'm okay with her being in the final season.
I'm okay with how things ended with her.
Right.
What I'm not okay with is the other mother, Ling Xiao's mother. I am not okay with this woman.
We hate her so much.
Yeah. So I've never wanted a character to
Die
off. I'm serious. More than her. And we come close,
Yeah.
but she doesn't. And
Survives,
the way it
unfortunately.
ends, they try to hint that she's going to work on herself and be better. But I'm sorry, a person like that doesn't get better.
She never said she was sorry.
No.
Not even
Not
once.
even in the ending. Not from what I recall.
No, she doesn't.
No, and that's the thing. An abuser never recognizes that they're an abuser. And now, I know there's special cases in real life, but point being is this mother wasn't just a neglectful mother. She was full on abusive, physically and emotionally, to the point where she caused severe PTSD and trauma in this child. Someone like that doesn't just change. I'm sorry, they don't. So this ending that they try to spin for us, that she recognizes what she's done wrong and she's going to be better, I just don't believe it. And I really would have preferred if she would have just either stepped back and said, okay, I'm going to leave you alone for the rest of your life, or if she would have died in the car crash.
I agree with you.
Quite frank.
I can't stand her. They tried to give her a redeeming arc by the end of this by saying,
it didn't hit.
I accept Jian Jian and that's it. But like, I will never ever forgive her.
No, I hate that woman.
I hate her too.
I hate that woman. And
the actress was phenomenal though for making us
Yes.
hate her so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Also, the one thing we forgot to mention when we were talking about Ling Xiao's mother was our favorite quote that ties in with the mother.
Yes. This is where I relate to Jinjin on a level of just a whole level. But my absolute favorite quote from the series is when Jinjin says to Ling Xiao, I hate all 3 generations on your maternal side. Your mother, your sister, your grandmother. Hate all of them.
And to be fair, the sister's not at fault. I mean, she's being born, but at the same time,
Her
it's just a
character
reminder.
grows.
Yeah,
her character
But
grows.
still.
But at this time, it was such a...
I hate it.
I loved it. I love that quote. It was
I love that
hilarious.
she can hate them on his behalf.
Yeah, and that's what I love. Like,
It's family.
Ugh,
It's family.
It's family. It's that true love,
Yeah.
that you have for someone.
So let's get into the opening scene, right?
Opening scene, we start out in front of a noodle shop where the family, Jinjin's family currently lives. It's just Jinjin and her dad. Her mom recently passed away. And she is drawing on the sidewalk. And up comes this truck full of furniture with a new family that's moving into the complex that is above the noodle shop, where also Jinjin and her family and her dad lives. As they're driving up, there's a piece of furniture that falls out of the truck right next to Jinjin on the sidewalk. It almost hits her, but it doesn't. And that's where we meet Ling Xiao, big brother, as well as his mother and his father. And this is the kind of the meet cute scene for these two. The two families meet, and that's where we go. We go from there.
Right. So basically, that opens up the whole drama, and it's just a wholesome meeting, and it kind of sets the tone for the rest of the drama.
Yep.
It really does.
Yep. And then in the same episode, we go right into the three siblings. And I'm saying that with quotation marks because this is where we get to meet Little Big Bro, Zuzu.
Little Big Bro, okay. And their dynamic as children really... The child actors, though, that play these three siblings...
Oh my god, so cute.
They're super cute, but two, they actually really embody the personality of their older counterparts.
They do.
And I love it.
It fits perfectly. The children, it really does feel like we're watching these children grow up into the adult characters.
And can you talk about how cute Little Big Bro's child actor is?
Never wanted a child in my life until I saw him.
He's so cute.
He's so cute.
Oh my god. And that kind of like brings into the next scene because they meet because
Jinjin's dad starts dating Little Big Bro's mother with talk of marriage in the works.
basically they don't end up getting together. However,
Jinjin's dad keeps Little Big Bro.
basically he adopts
Mom
him.
dips,
Yeah.
but he keeps her son.
Right. And one thing, this is the part that I absolutely love in this whole scene of this, is the fact that Jian Zhen does not want him as a brother
Not
in
at
the
all.
beginning. And I think one of my favorite episodes, I think it's in episode 1 or 2, when she literally just takes his suitcase and just throws it down the stairs.
Repeatedly. Yep. So she's mad that Little Big Bro has moved in with her and her dad. And so every single day, this child, and we see it in the drama, every single day, this child
We see it twice. We assume it's everything.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean. She takes this suitcase, throws it down a whole bunch of stairs, and here comes this little boy just running after her, not complaining, not throwing a fit, just going down and bringing it right back up.
If that's not an ad for a suitcase, I don't know what it is. Truly, I don't.
Strong, sturdy suitcase, all right.
Right. And so they eventually get over that and they become really good friends in this next scene in episode 1. It's the fight scene.
Yes. The fight scene this is one of my favorite scenes. I'm going to be real with you. This is where we see the whole dynamic between these three kids. This dynamic is going to follow them throughout the series.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is you see Jinjin's personality beautifully. So what happens is in this scene opens and Ling Xiao is getting bullied by some neighborhood kids. And Jinjin's not going to have that.
Nope.
She comes busting in, calling the main bully a pig. And headbutts him. She proceeds to headbutt this child full force.
Pay for it.
Ling Xiao's eyes go huge because he's completely shocked. And here comes Little Big Bro running after her.
Yup.
Going headfirst into the fight.
his baby sister.
Yep. And you see her, she's biting this child. Little Big Bro's getting his butt whipped. And then who saves the day but Ling Xiao? So they came to defend Ling Xiao's honor. And then Ling Xiao's the one who ends up protecting their asses.
Oh, 100%.
And it's freaking hilarious. And you see this throughout life. Like in their high school days and even when they're older and they all reunite, you see that Jinjin's always going into situations head first. And you see Little Big Bro running after her to give her back up, no matter what happens.
And this correlates with the scene in high school that I wanted to bring up.
Yes.
When basically the Little Big Bro was defending her soon-to-be best friend from these guys, and she was supposed to go get the principal, mind you, but she couldn't find anybody. So she goes to the broadcasting room, announces to the school, hey, Big Bro, your sister's in trouble, go to this place. And he's like, God damn, again?
Not again.
Not again,
because
right?
not only we have this, Jinjin's always going into trouble, so is Little Big Bro. And who is always coming to save the day? Big Bro. Big Bro is always coming to save them from all the situations they get into.
She goes in head first. I mean, in the beginning, in the kids, she bites him. And the grown-ups say, she puts a brick in her backpack. Can I just say straight smart?
No hesitation. Throws that backpack full force.
Full throttle.
No hesitation.
Great. So when they were kids, though, can we also discuss how great the little meeting that they had between the kids, the dad, Jian, and then the mom of the bully, and then the bully?
Oh, I know.
I know he shouldn't have done it, and I like how that it was resolved without violence. Yeah, the mom was angry, but she stood to reason. She listened to the kids' story, and she understood. And I kind of like that resolving because I don't think we get a lot of that in dramas.
Or in real life, let's be real.
Now in real life.
Parents,
they always want to believe their kid's right.
Yeah. And I did loved how it was resolved, how Jinjin's dad knew his daughter was in the wrong, but he also pointed out, you're a bigger and older kid, you shouldn't be bullying other kids, so let's compromise. You can have some noodles anytime you come by. He doesn't reprimand the bullying kid. No. He almost the way he does it is
Teaches them.
teach it. Yes. And it's in a positive, reinforcing way, which
great.
I just love. Jinjin's dad, as a parent, green flags all around.
So we end up time skipping, and then we get them when they're older. We see them how blended they are. They still have 2 apartments, but they always eat in Janjan's dad's apartment. But I want to discuss this one part where he comes in after doing something and he needs to go use the bathroom, right? And she's already in the bathroom. It's like, damn it, I gotta go upstairs to the other bathroom that we have. So he takes the keys, goes upstairs, goes use the bathroom, right? Guess what? They're out of toilet paper. Yeah, remember? They're out of toilet paper. And this is where we see kind of
The sibling dynamic.
But we see, because, Ling Xiao's kind of always grown up reserved.
Yeah.
So in this scene, we kind of see him being playful, and it's kind of Little Big Bro and Jin rubbing off on him, because Ling Xiao was like, I'm not getting you any toilet paper. Sucks. Like, you have to deal with it, right?
Right.
And he's like, oh, this has happened before. I'm prepared. Brings out a small piece of toilet paper. Do you remember that?
Yeah, and then Big Bro comes in and takes
Just
it.
yeets it out, and he's just like, God damn it again. And I was like, this is sibling shit, though.
It is. It's pure, and that's what I love. It does show how they do have a purely sibling relationship. This is what I love about this series. They show the sibling relationship between Little Big Bro and Big Bro, and Little Big Bro and Jinjin.
Yeah.
But then they sprinkle in these little moments, like the bed scene, between Big Bro and Jinjin, and how,
Or how he was the only one to notice she needed a bra.
well, yeah, that was kind of sibling-ish.
Is it,
But-
though? Because the other one didn't notice at all.
That's true. That is true. Point being is, like, you get these little sprinkled moments where you can see the difference with how Ling Xiao and Jinjin are. They're not, there's love between them, but
It's not sibling love.
yeah, you can tell on his end that it's not a sibling thing.
When they grow older, yeah.
Well-
For her, though, it still kind of is, but I don't think she realizes the differences in types of love.
Yeah, and what I mean by this is there's one clear scene when they're high schoolers where they've grown up sleeping in each other's bed. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, he told her she's not allowed to sleep in his bed or Little Big Bro's bed. And she doesn't understand why. Why? We grew up like this. Who cares?
Right.
So one night, they're trying to console Ling Xiao over something, and she jumps in his bed, and he's like, get out of my bed.
Yeah.
Like, he goes from
Being nice to being really,
like,
really,
really
like,
stern.
Yeah.
And she's like, no. And so she snuggles in, and then all of a sudden she says, your bed smells amazing. It smells so much like you.
Bruh.
And he freaks out. And you can tell it is not a sibling freak out.
It's
Like,
oh my God, the girl
that's-
like is in my bed.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, that
The little hints there.
little hints here and there that they sprinkle in when they're in high school is so cute.
So that's when they grow up, and then to the next scene that we want to talk about, which is Little Big Bro's birthday party. So, okay, when I rewatch this, I tend to skip this a little bit, only because, like, I don't want to cry.
I cried every single time. She's not a crier. She doesn't like to cry. I don't like to cry either, but I watch this scene because of how beautiful it is. Like, so it's in episode 5. It's Little Big Bro's birthday, and his maternal aunt is over visiting, and his maternal side has never really forgotten the favor that Jinjin's dad
Yeah.
has done by taking in Little Big Bro and as his own.
Yeah, who's not related to him, who's paying for everything, and
All-
he's never asked for anything once in return.
Right. Not at all. And it really does change Little Big Bro's life because if his father never took him in, he would be working on a farm. Uneducated. They didn't have money for school. They barely have money for food. His family, on the maternal side, he doesn't have contact with his mom.
No.
But
And we'll
he
get
has
back
con-
to his mom later.
Yeah. But he does have contact with his mom's sister and his grandmother. And so the maternal aunt does come over, but when she does come, it's always an uncomfortable visit for Little Big Bro because
She always reminds him that
he's not really one of them.
Yeah, he's a guest, and he needs to be on his best behavior. He needs to be almost subservient.
He needs to serve them.
Yeah, because he's not related to them by blood.
And they're doing this huge favor and they don't have to.
And she's right, they don't have to, but never once did Jinjin's dad ever make him feel that way. He was his son from the beginning.
Jinjin's dad, what I love about this man is that he took this boy in, he saw this boy, and it is now his boy. Like,
Right.
it doesn't matter, he's not related to him by blood, doesn't matter, he's not on his family registry, this is his son.
Right, so he overhears that Little Big Bro's aunt talking how he needs to be all this way. Why make you feel in this way on your birthday?
Yeah, she's talking down to him, reminding him that you can't be too comfortable with them, they're not your real family. She hits him, And earlier, there a neat for subcontext too, because it does play into this. Earlier in the day, Ling Xiao's maternal grandmother comes into the picture and does the same exact thing, reprimands him for not being good enough, yada yada, and hits him on the shoulder as well.
Oh, is it the same scene with the sister?
Yes.
Meeting of the sister?
Yes.
Oh.
So the reason why this comes into play is because this was in the same day. So Jinjin's dad sees this.
Yeah.
And then he comes home and the same thing happens with his other son.
Right.
Because he does view both boys as his sons.
100%.
And so he gets drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy drunk. Which is very out of character for this man. And he has a very emotional outburst that it does. No matter how many times I've watched this series, it makes me cry every single time.
I know.
Because when I say that this man sobbed, like, it's just gut-wrenching sobs where he is, like, saying, you know, I love my kids. I love these boys and I love my daughter, and I love them so much I could never imagine
Not having them.
And
everyone else is an outsider. Nobody fucking cares.
Well, and not only that, but he could never imagine putting his hands on them, and let alone talking down to them in a derogatory way. But it's the putting the hands on them that really gets him too. He's like, I love you so much, I could never imagine hurting you physically or emotionally.
And mind you, he's never, ever, ever, ever laid hands on Jian.
No.
And Jian's such a free spirit, and I'll get to that in a minute too, or later on in the thing, but that's also a reason why she's so free spirit. But he never, ever was emotionally, verbally abusive to his daughter.
No, not to any of what he considers his kids. And it gets him so upset because he's like, I would never do this, but here comes these blood relatives of these boys who are, they're so big on the fact that they're related by blood. They're so big on that, and that is such a big deal to their families. Yet they have the capacity to talk down to them and have the capacity to hurt them physically and emotionally.
It hurts me.
It hurts me. Yeah. And so it does. It destroys this man.
I think it also kills me that these people who are AKA blood related have an opinion on their family.
Yeah. When they haven't, at this point, both maternal mothers for the boys are out of the picture, yet their families are trying to step in and just cause all this drama, and it's ridiculous. And so it's such a gut-wrenching scene because he just breaks down into these horrifically wrenching sobs of sadness and pain for his boys.
And that's another thing too, is I love the fact that he can be vulnerable. Like, you don't very much see men being that vulnerable in Asian culture and Asian dramas. And that's the one thing I love about him.
In American drama.
Yeah, anywhere. But, like, especially in Asian culture, like, the fact that he was so supportive and so open. I love that he just reiterated the fact that these are both my sons and everyone else is an outsider, so your opinion doesn't freaking matter. So shut up about it. And then they go into the bathroom, and it's like everybody whose family's in that bathroom except that one person who's not family.
Yeah.
And no hate to the aunt. She is trying her best. And to be honest, she's more one of the likable characters than his mom or the other mom. She grows.
Unlike Ling Xiao's family, she grows and develops and does eventually become part of the family and sees what Jinjin's dad means.
Yeah, see how Jinjin's dad is his dad, and that's it.
But yeah, that bathroom scene where they all follow Jinjin's dad into the bathroom to take care of him, and all the family is in there except for the blood relative, is, I think, really saying something. So yeah, that's one of my favorite scenes. Truly.
I do love it.
Such a powerful, painful, beautiful scene.
Again, you just don't get to see a dad being so open with his love.
Yeah.
For not only his daughter, but his sons.
Oh, yeah. And that's a big thing, too.
It's a big thing, too. Right? Mm-hmm. So that's one of the scenes that just impacted us so much.
And then to move on forward into the series, I guess another one of my favorite scenes that I want to mention is a couple more scenes in episode 8, where it's a small scene. It's only for a few seconds, but it's such a big impact. So if you remember earlier, I was saying this series does a great job of showcasing the
change in dynamic between Ling Xiao and Jian.
Yes.
Yeah, this is a scene.
And this is one of those scenes. So they're still in high school. It's before the boys go abroad, where Jinjin is studying and Ling Xiao is there to make sure she's studying and doing her homework. And she says something or does a math, I think it's a math equation wrong.
Right,
and he knocks her on the head because that's his thing.
Yeah.
You know, very
not hard.
And it's kind of like it's like a sibling thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then she whacks back and she goes, "Are you going to be responsible for marrying me?" You know,
If your hits cause me brain damage.
right, right. And then usually she said that once or twice prior to this, and he never said anything. But they're alone in the room together in her bedroom, and he goes, "Yes, I will marry you."
Calm down. They're in high school.
I know, but what a moment.
It was a line.
It was just a couple seconds.
So smooth.
She thinks he's joking, and she looks away awkwardly. And then we move on, and it's not brought up again. But it's like I said, it's one of those sprinkled moments where you do see that Ling Xiao does view her differently.
Yeah.
Whoa, what a...
And of course, this comes right before both brothers have to leave.
Yeah, when they go abroad.
Look,
And
I know it was for the plot. It was episode 10. Both brothers have to leave. I know it was for the plot, right? But it was a stupid ass decision, all right? Okay? But it also makes no sense on how they have to leave. Like, please discuss your opinion.
Okay.
Because I can't.
So, I got you. It's hard because it's the amount of emotion that you get from this scene is...
Well, the fact that this 18-year-old has to go take care of his disabled mother who abandoned him. You know, you have to love and respect and take care of your parents when they're parents to you. If they were never a parent to you, which she wasn't, I don't think he has any responsibility. But that's just me, and that's just a different culture.
I agree with that. And I like Lael said, we do acknowledge that there are cultural differences. And I think this is one of those cases. And on top of that, his maternal uncle was also guilt-tripping him a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like if his father was with him,
Yeah.
it wouldn't have happened. So I do feel like there was a lot of guilt-tripping involved by the adults on the maternal side of his family that just didn't want to take care of her. They didn't want to take care of her.
They didn't.
She's a bitch. No one wanted to be around her. No one wanted her. Someone was willing to take the kid in the side of the family, but no one was actually willing to stay and help the mother because she is a horrible human being.
We will never forgive her. We'll talk about this later. But she is never forgiven.
No.
Okay?
Not ever.
Never.
Never.
They tried.
But anyways, so we have Ling Zhao who feels like he has no other choice but to go abroad to Singapore, I think is where she lives.
Yeah.
To take care of his disabled mother. And so he finds that out. At the same time, little Big Bro's biological dad comes into the picture. He's this rich jackass who comes in and basically blackmails little Big Bro into coming back to where he lives in England to study abroad and to take over the family name and family.
See, the funny thing is Little Big Bros actually makes sense to me in a stupid way because, like, he's
does.
going for school, the dad has money, and he's willing. He's like, okay, I'll take your freaking money. Like, who wouldn't take your money?
Right.
And again...
But it's also, his biological dad had the noodle place shut down. That was him.
Yeah.
Like, because Little Big Bro was not...
calling him dad or willing to be on his family registry.
Yeah, or willing to go to England. He said no at first.
He did.
And then all of a sudden, people were putting bad reviews about the noodle shop. And
No, I don't think it was bad reviews. They called the health inspector, and for some reason they found...
And there were bad reviews.
What reviews? Where?
Food poisoning. That apparently someone had food poisoning. Never happened before. So it was very clear that he was
sabotaging
the business. And it was greatly impacting Little Big Bro's dad, dad, you know? And so on top of that, one day, Jinjin falls down some stairs and is embarrassed. And instead of telling her family that it was just her clumsiness, she says someone pushed her.
Yeah.
And Little Big Bro is super protective of his sister. And when he finds out that someone pushed, or he thinks someone pushed her, he automatically thinks it's his dad, his biological dad. So he goes to his biological dad, and that's when he lies. And he does say, yeah, I was behind that. Because he knew it would be
the trigger to him again,
And so he decides that he is going to protect his family, he's going to go study abroad. And so this scene is so gut-wrenching. We have the two brothers on the roof of the complex, and they're talking, and you have Ling Zhao, who announces, I have to go to Singapore, and so you have to take care of Jinjin for me. She's going to really need you.
Yeah, and then he's like, oh, nah, can't do that. I'm also leaving.
And you
to
can
England.
see how they fight, and you can see the self-hatred that they're
do.
both feeling. Like, they portray it so well, and they actually get into a fist fight.
Yeah.
And that's when Jinjin comes upstairs,
out.
finds them, and essentially finds out. Yeah. And they're both really heartbroken about doing this because, think about it, this girl has not been without her. They've been attached at the hip since she's been 7 years old. She doesn't know life before them.
I mean, she does, but she doesn't really
Barely.
remember. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, and this sounds unhealthy, don't get me wrong, she was the center of each of their worlds. For Little
10
Big
years.
Bro, for 10 years. For Little Big Bro, she was his only lifeline to a family. Like, he's got his dad, but that's his sibling. That's his sister, right? And then for Big Bro, that's a girl that pretty much pulled him out of the darkness. Because, as you all know, he was suffering from a dead sister in the beginning of this from, again, the mother's stupid mistake. So he was suffering, and she was like a light in his life. She was a light in Little Big Bro's life, and now she's losing them.
She's losing both of them, and now she's going to be
And
alone.
they're losing her in a way.
Yep. They're all going to be
growing.
alone,
Yeah.
and they're growing apart.
And it's the sad thing of life because it's so true. You grow up and you grow apart sometimes, but you do have to venture on your own path at some point, and that means not being by someone's side 24/7.
Yep, and
It's
is
scary.
As we all know, I mean, this is and I think, again, this is why this series is so emotional for me. It plays on very real life issues.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know anyone who hasn't experienced something like this, where you have grown apart from family members, from friends, from loved ones.
Yeah.
It is excruciating to experience, and they embody that so well in this drama.
And she has every right to be angry. Like, she was so angry. She didn't even want to see them off. She went to her grandma's.
Yeah, she dipped.
Right.
Like, you gonna leave me? I'm gonna leave you first.
Deuce. Bye. They're gone for 10 years. And
yeah,
this
they
is
were
what,
supposed to only be gone for four, but they're both gone for almost 10 years.
and
I
we
think it's
find out
technically
why,
actually like
right?
9.
And this is what kills me. One, I know why Big Bro couldn't come home because his mom pretty much fucking held him hostage.
Yeah, poor boy was tortured the entire time.
And this is why, again, we'll never forget her.
Emotionally and physically.
And then the other one was pretty much abandoned with no money.
Oh, yeah. Because he wouldn't take his father's
He wouldn't take it.
name.
He's
He
like, I will
wouldn't
not
take him on-
betray who I consider a father.
Yeah, and he wouldn't take his name.
And
So,
so-
dude threw him out on the streets. So he comes back, and everyone thinks he's spending daddy's money, bio dad's money, and he's not. That poor boy was thrown out fairly like within the first year or two of college, where he had to work, sustain himself, sustain his living, and get through college, and never told his real dad, what I consider his real dad,
Yep.
what was going on.
And this is why, and you get this later, this is why I tolerate Little Big Bro's mother. You find out that when she does come back in the life, she cusses out the bio dad and was like, you give him the money, you sack of shit, essentially.
Give him the money he deserves and is rightfully good.
Right. She does do some redeeming qualities. What kills
But
me...
Ling Xiao's mom is never forgiven.
Ever.
Ever.
Never. I will die on that hill. But, like, what kills me is neither dad went to go visit them. Because I feel like if a dad visited one of them in 10 years, they would have seen what was going up.
They wouldn't have left without them. Either
Right.
boy. And I get that the boys were telling them that everything was good and
Fine.
everything was
I'm
fine.
going to listen to teenage boys.
But in 10 years, especially, I felt like there should have been, at least for Ling Xiao, I feel like Little Big Bro played it off well, where he was like, I want to gain experience after college. I want to work in some stuff. Like, I feel like he played his end well. Whereas everyone knows Ling Xiao's mother is a piece of work. They know that she was emotionally abusive before he left.
Yep. She did not change because they do not do therapy in China, I don't think. It's not talked about very much.
Yeah. From what we understand, from what we've seen,
Yeah.
you know, in our knowledge. So this gets me mad because everyone knew how toxic she was. So when he didn't come back after 4 years, how was there not a visit?
Right.
How did someone not go
Well-
and not, and I'm not putting it on the siblings, I'm more putting it on the dads.
Yeah.
And more so his biological
dad, yeah.
I feel like his biological dad lets a lot slide because he just doesn't want to touch it.
Yeah, he's more of a dad.
Yeah. And whereas you have Jinjin's dad, who I feel like if
He felt like it was his boundary to cross, he would have.
yeah. But I think because he did feel a boundary. That is the only reason why he didn't go out there.
Right, but you know what? I also blame the boys a lot because one.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, yeah, they both kept in contact with Jian Jian, but eventually that contact fell off. Like they stopped reaching out. It was only for holidays, and it was so sad to watch because eventually they went from talking to being like, "Happy holidays.
Yeah.
Hope you're good."
And you want to know what contributes to that is the fact that they were hiding so much of their lives.
Yeah.
That they really couldn't talk about anything.
Right.
So
And that's their fault.
it did speed up, I feel like, the process of them growing apart.
Part. Yeah, it did. It did.
And
So then 10 years later, they come back. They get
Yes.
reunited.
10 years later, reuniting.
Reunited
And it feels so good.
Not really. It's actually really awkward.
It's extremely awkward, and I love it. So, do you want to talk about it, or do you want me to talk about it?
You can talk about the situation and how they both came back into her
I would
life.
love to. I would love to. Oh, here we go. So, Jinjin is now 25, and she is at an art exhibit, chilling, watching some art. All's going well. And all of a sudden, she trips, and someone catches her. But when they catch her, they don't catch her around the stomach. They catch her around the boobs. Someone's feeling her up. And she's freaked the fuck out. Chaos ensues. The police are called. She gets to the police station with the pervert who grabbed her boobs.
Mind you, he's wearing a hat, so she hasn't seen his face.
Yeah. And they're asking a whole bunch of questions, and he's like, no, I would never, you don't understand, I would never do that. And they're like, why would you squeeze her boobs? And he's like, I thought it was her stomach. She used to like when I squeezed her stomach. And they're like, what? And she freaks, because that's when she walks in, she uncovers him, and it's not a pervert, it's Little Big Bro.
But
Little
can
Big Bro.
you also, just a little tidbit, how disgusted he was by touching her boob?
He was absolutely disgusted.
And then he wanted to marry her later.
Yeah.
That's just
Oh, okay, that makes sense. In this moment, he is horrified.
horrified.
And so is she.
But it really does show he doesn't really love her like that.
Exactly. So they're standing
Little
at the
tidbit.
police station because obviously she doesn't press charges because she
Right.
knows it truly was a mistake. But they're both standing there so awkwardly. But here we go. So when she was on the way, we're backtracking a little. When she was on the way to the police station, she calls her bestie.
Yes.
And she goes, girl, this crazy shit happened to me. I think I was sexually assaulted. I'm going to the police station. Could you come pick me up? And she goes, yeah, bet. What she doesn't know is that her bestie just picked up Big Bro.
Yeah, because neither Big Bro told them that they were coming back.
Yeah, neither one of them.
They
It was
wanted
a surprise. They wanted to surprise everyone. So she doesn't know that her bestie just picked up her Big Bro from the airport, and he overhears this conversation.
Yeah.
And what does he do? He takes off like he's in a marathon. Bam! He's
I gotta
off.
go save my baby.
He runs all the way to the fucking police station. And as he gets there, he runs right past them standing outside. And then he pauses, turns around, and then calls her name. And both her and Little Big Bro turn to him, and they're all looking at each other just aghast.
A complete side note, though, can we just talk about how the Big Bro kept in contact with her best friend to check on Jian Jian instead of, I don't know.
Jian
Jian.
I know.
A little side note there.
I found that weird, too.
I guess it played into her liking him, but whatever, you know. I mean, they're reunite.
Their reunition? No, that's not a word. It's not a word.
The reunion
The reunion.
was honestly their awkwardness was really well handled because like obviously they can't go back to where they were 10 years ago. Like too much time has passed.
But both brothers want to.
Yeah, they just think, oh, it's going to be.
We can
And
just
she's
slide
like,
back into how things were.
yeah. And she's like, no.
No.
You guys were gone for 10 years. I had to survive on my own. I'm a grown adult now. You lost out.
Yeah, I'm living my life. I'm happy. And you can feel the awkwardness between the three when they're together, and it's very realistic. I like how they portray this.
Right.
I like that they don't just slide back into...
No. You have a lot of scenes where it's like, how do we reconnect?
Yeah.
Because essentially we
difficult.
don't know each other anymore. I don't know what you've been through for 10 years. That's a long time.
And, you know, on a side note, just personally, I've had a very similar situation with people that I've grown up with that I did consider siblings, cousins that I did consider
yeah.
siblings. We grew up together as siblings. Same thing happened. We have just recently reunited over, you know, almost 10 years of not really being on the same page like these characters. And that awkwardness is real.
Yeah.
You know, trying to fit each other back into each other's lives when it's hard and it's difficult and it's very real. And
then
I love
also,
how they portray that in the series.
they try so hard because they want to go back, and this is what kills me. They want to go back when they felt safe, because
Yeah.
both of them are not safe right now. They're both not in a situation. I feel like they're both not in a situation where they can just be like how they were back
Yep.
in high school, because back then it was comfortable and it was safe.
They're still in flight mode.
They are. They're in flight
Yeah.
mode. Fight or flight mode, really.
Yep. We are going to skip forward a bit and we're going to talk about our next favorite scene.
The confession of the big brother.
So episode 21. Episode 21, he went back to Singapore for a bit to basically tell his mother in person that he is indeed not coming back permanently. He's going to go back and live with his family, not with her. And so he comes back, and it's late at night, and Jinjin is already sleeping when he returns. He's in her room, and it's leaning over her, and oh my gosh, the feels. He leans in, and he kisses her forehead. And then he leans in again and kisses her cheek. And then, to everyone's surprise, not really, he leans in to actually kiss her on the lips. But he stops, because he's a gentleman.
Thankfully.
gentleman,
Remember, this
thankfully.
is fantasy land, okay? Fantasy drama land.
We don't get gentlemen a lot in Fantasyland.
This is turn your fantasy brain on, because in real life, no.
Yeah.
Please.
But in this case, he leans back. He doesn't kiss her. He leans away from doing so. He second thinks it, second thoughts.
Thankfully.
And as he's doing so, Jinjin's eyes are wide open in shock. She sees everything. Mm-hmm. And so he looks at her. She looks at him. Pregnant pause. She immediately squeezes her eyes shut and tries to pretend she's sleeping. He knows she's not, and he tries to call her name, but she's gonna pretend to sleep.
Yeah.
She's not getting past it. And so instead he walks out. And so my favorite scene is the next day, because the next day she's trying to dash out before him, and she gets to the elevator, and he leaves his apartment and he meets her at the elevator, and surprise, complete surprise.
He planned that.
I
waited.
think he was watching.
He waited.
I think he was watching, to be truthful, from his door.
Yeah, he was.
The elevator door opens and she goes, "Oh, go ahead, big bro. I forgot my cell phone. I'm going to go run back and get it." And as she darts past him, he grabs her wrist and goes, "Your cell phone is in your hand." And proceeds to pull her in the elevator and then corners her in the elevator. And she's freaked out. And he says, "I want you to seriously consider it."
Yeah, he wants something more.
And Jinjin's like, "More? What we have is perfect." And he goes, "It's not enough."
Yeah.
And she goes, "What do you mean it's not enough? Of course it's enough. It's more than enough." And he goes, "No, I want more. I want something legal and on paper that is recognized, that really does truly
Tie
us together as family. And the only way to do that, my friend, is to marry you." Homeboy skips the dating,
Yeah.
and goes straight to marriage.
A little strong there, boy.
Little strong, freaks her out big time.
Yeah.
But I love it. It was. She darts out of the elevator, and it's just, what a scene.
He tries to do anything he can to make her see him as more than just a brother.
Yeah, and
So
that's where we
that's-
start getting some of the good scenes.
Yeah, starting with the romantic scenes. But in the same episode, we then get the little big bro's confession.
Yes, this was crazy. So,
It's not crazy. I see his confession a little bit more as not a love thing, but more of, I want a family on paper, and marrying you is the only way to do that.
yes, I recognize that, and I get that. I know he isn't in love with her.
But it's weird.
I just didn't see it coming when I watched this for the first time. That's what I meant. Like, I did not see
I
that
could have
coming.
clocked that a while. 2 brothers, 1 girl,
And
the
seeing-
oldest cliche in the
And
book.
yes, but I didn't see the 2 marriage proposals, is what I'm saying.
I
So-
knew they were both probably going to be AKA kind of in love with her, but the marriage proposals, I guess, was a little out there. But
So we get Ling Zhao saying, "Marry me," and then she runs home, and she's with her adoptive brother, Little Big Bro. Little Big Bro is sitting with her, applying some medicine for some mosquito bites on her leg, and he's like, "Marry me. I want to be, like Lael just said, I want to be legal on paper. This is the only way to do it." And she freaks the fuck out. And let me tell you, I love the contrast that we see
yeah,
between her reaction between the two confessions.
Yeah.
Because you truly see with little big bro,
She's like, it's revolting. It's disgusting. Do not touch me.
she's trying to run away. But on the other end, when Ling Xiao confessed, she was shocked, but you didn't get the utter horror or disgust. Nothing like that in the confession. So again, you get that little bit of sprinkle that shows in context that there is something, even if she doesn't recognize it, there is something more.
With them too.
Yeah, than just a sibling platonic thing. So I love that.
Right. And in the same episode 20, I guess 21 is like the major episode for
21's
everything.
a big one.
Because another favorite episode in 21 is the watermelon scene.
Oh, the watermelon scene. I think this is one of my top favorite scenes. So, and I mean it.
Yeah.
I think we're going to discuss this a bit more later, but we don't see, or I don't feel a lot of like the flirty romance between these two characters. I don't,
Yeah, we'll discuss it later. I don't feel the chemistry.
but do I feel the riz from this boy in this scene? Let me tell you, that term was made for this boy, for this scene. So what we see is she sneaks over to his apartment later on because she put a watermelon in their refrigerator.
Yeah.
Couldn't fit in her
Hers.
refrigerator. So she sneaks over to grab it and he's there. I love this scene so much.
Just getting chills.
Starts unwrapping it. She starts talking to him like, I thought long and hard about what you said, and I really think that you think you're in love with me because you've been away for so long.
Right.
That's why this is happening. And he responds simply with, third year of high school. And she goes, what? And he goes, third year of high school. I said I was going to marry you. And mind you, my friends, that was before he moved abroad. Like, that was before. And she's freaked. She's like, what? Like, she's like, you were joking. And he's like, no. He takes the watermelon and he takes a spoon and he
Takes the middle of
the
it.
middle piece of the
favorite
watermelon,
part.
the best part. And he holds it up to her and he goes, third year of high school was when I decided that the middle piece of the watermelon, all the best types of the food, was all going to be saved for you. He fed her the piece of watermelon because her jaw was open in shock, right? And she bites down and closes it. And as she does, oh my gosh, my friends, listen. He goes, when you decided to take me in when we were kids, it was then that I belonged to you. And oh, my heart, the eye contact, I would have died. I would have melted into a puddle. And he's leaning over her as she's trying to swallow this piece of watermelon. And it's just, what a scene. What a scene.
I love the scene. The part that makes it so attractive to me, though, is the decisiveness. Like,
Thank you.
This isn't the first time, though, he's been so decisive. Do you remember when, in the beginning of the drama, when they brought his little sister in, right? And the mom was like, why didn't you give a little piece of your heart to your new sister? And he was just like, no, my love is Jian Jian's and Jian Jian's only. You're
I
not
don't
getting
give it away like you do.
Yeah. I just love a man. He knows what he wants. He's going after it.
I love it. And I think that's why
You love it.
the little bit of manipulation we see,
Yeah.
why wouldn't it be cool in real life? Because
No.
remember, we have a saying here. We have a saying. What's our saying, Leia? We
We turn on our fantasy drama land brain.
turn off our real brain.
Yep.
Because in the real world brain, when we turn that on, manipulation, no go.
Yeah,
No.
like we'll discuss a little bit more how we think he's just a little bit of a manipulator, and
Just a little bit.
just a little bit.
Because he knows what he wants and he's going for
And
it.
he knows how to twist her to get it.
Yeah. Yes, he does. Yes, he
Okay.
does. But it works in this situation. Trust me.
It's dramaland. So she has both confessions from brothers, and she's like, I don't know what to do. I do like the one. I don't really like the other that way.
So what does she decide to do, Leia?
She posts it online.
Posted it on a Reddit site.
On a Reddit site. No names, but specific enough to know exactly who everyone is talking
She includes
about.
every single detail of their life in this post.
The
Enough
abandonment
where
issues, the
noodle shop, the two brothers that are not brothers.
one lives above me.
Yeah. One is an adopted brother. Literally anyone who even remotely knows this family, just even like acquaintances, will know who this is. by
And
reading
reminder, at this
post.
point, the brothers still do not know that each of them confessed to her.
Right. They're keeping it from each other because she knew that if either one knew, it would blow up.
Yep.
So she decides to write a Reddit post, and that is where we go into episode 27, because this Reddit post that she decides to write, it gets exposed. Avi.
By another asshole that we hate.
Yeah.
We won't go into him, but y'all know who
But
he
they're
is.
all out to eat. So she's out to eat with her friends, her coworker, as well as the boys. and they're all having a fairly good time. They're all having a hot pot. Everything's going well. And then one of the coworkers finds this post, and he's a little tiffed at her for stupid reasons. So he decides to share it to everyone at the table. And everyone's reading it, and everyone starts looking at her except for the boys. Who are the boys looking at, Leah?
Each other.
Each other. Oh my God. She's exposed. They're exposed. It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Right.
I love this scene because she really thought that if she hung on to her friends tight enough as she's entering her apartment,
They would save her.
that they would save her. Wrong. Both boys are, even though
Drag
they're
her.
so mad at each other right
Yep.
now.
They work together to drag her to their apartment.
Yep, they're in sync. They work without even, one opens the door without saying anything to their apartment. The other one grabs her, pulls her in, and they're like, explain. And I just think it's hilarious because you have Ling Xiao, who is yelling at Little Big Bro and going, what the fuck are you thinking, man? You're her brother. And then Little Big Bro's going, I'm her brother. You're her brother. And the back and forth is frankly hilarious.
It's the best.
And then it gets kind of sad. It gets kind of sad because
Yeah.
what she feared was going to happen does happen. Little Big Bro,
Feels abandoned again.
yeah, he has abandonment issues, as we all know. And when he realizes that she chose to be with Ling Xiao
Yep.
and not him, he doesn't see what we see, what she sees, which
Right.
is, I love you
Like
as a brother,
sibling.
but I love him as something more.
Yeah.
He sees it as
You're
they chose
choosing.
each other
Yeah.
over me. And it cuts it to the core. And
Yeah.
oh, that little baby. My heart just breaks for this man. He does the sad scene so well. But what a scene when they're fighting. I just thought it was hilarious where they're
Right.
fighting with each other.
No, like, yeah, that happens. And there's a bunch of issues that happen since then. You know, he gets abandonment issues. His mom tries to come back in the picture. Ling Xiao's mom tries to come back in the picture. All that shit happens. We finally get to the scene in episode 29 where he comes to terms of not being the love interest, but he also realizes that he does really love Jian Jian as a sister, Little Big Bro.
Little Big Bros.
Right.
Yeah.
And once he gets reassured that, you know, we may not be family on registry, but we're family in our hearts, he kind of has a change of heart.
And then he becomes protective Little Big Bro.
Best thing, they sit
It's
down.
hilarious.
They sit down at the noodle shop. He says this to Ling Xiao. He's like, okay, you're the boyfriend, I'm the brother. Now you're dating my sister. This is what's gonna happen. We're having a man-to-man thing about
I'm first.
Yeah, right.
I'm the brother. I will always be first. I
She's
will
gonna be
always
on
come
my
first.
side. And mind you, at this point, Ling Xiao just does anything Jian Jian wants.
And
Anything.
he adores his brother too.
He does. He truly does love his
So
baby.
it's just hilarious the way he's looking at him in this. 'Cause
Yeah, he's just like, okay, I'll let
Fine.
you have it. I'll let my two little
can have
siblings
this.
have that. You
can
know,
have this.
and it was just so cute. But I just want to backtrack back to episode 27, the kiss scenes.
Ah, yes. There's
Two.
two kiss scenes that really. I think there's only two.
I think there's only two.
There's only two that stand out that I remember.
I think there is only two.
The first, which is the first kiss. Which,
Yep.
What is that in episode?
I think 27.
Is that?
Yeah,
So we have the first kiss. It's cute.
It's cute.
It's a cute kiss.
it is, and there's no fish kiss, as we
We appreciate that.
lovingly call it.
We do not stand for fish kisses here. Oh my god.
And if you don't know what fish kisses are, they're
Google.
just
Google it, my friend. I can't.
they just kiss with their eyes open.
Picture what does a fish look like if you were to kiss a fish? Wide-eyed, not moving, not participating in any way. That, my friend, is a fish kiss, and it is extremely common, as everyone in this fandom probably knows, in most Asian dramas.
Yeah, because it's supposed
We
to
are-
show the awkwardness of her not really being in a relationship and innocent in a way, and I'm just like, total turn off.
Yeah, we don't stand for that here. It's
Yeah.
nay on the fish kiss.
And
nay.
she doesn't, so we're happy.
We
One thing I
appreciate
absolutely
that.
love is like she really does think out loud and do her actions out loud, because she just
does.
like, you can literally see on her face that she stops thinking and she just curls up in a ball.
Yep. It's adorable. It is. It's a cute first kiss. I probably would do the same. I love how relatable
Yeah.
her character is. The second kiss,
Is my favorite.
yeah, it's both of our favorite. I prefer it
The
over the first.
tree scene. Okay, look, I'm short. It's gonna be so easy to find a man that's tall, but like, do I want a man to pick me up and kiss me as a treat?
Absolutely.
Yes. Can we please get that?
What a visual it was. Like,
good.
yeah, it was,
It was-
and it was good. It was another good, sweet kiss.
Their height difference is at what every Wattpad story is about. Okay,
Absolutely.
let's just say that. Okay.
Absolutely. But no, yeah, the kisses are very sweet, but to go back on what we were talking about in the beginning, and both scenes reiterate what we were talking about, where they're cute, sweet kisses, but there is no chemistry. There is no fire.
I just
there
don't
is
see it.
no passion. So honestly, I don't watch this series for the romance.
I agree. it's cute and it's
It's cute.
expected, but because obviously she's gonna fall in love with one
Yeah.
of them. But it's not that
It doesn't hold up the series. If the focus was the romance, I don't think this would have took
Does
off
for
the way
us,
it did.
yeah.
What makes this series, again, to reiterate, it's the family dynamic
Right.
that makes it, not the romance.
We come to the ending scene. The ending scene to this is they finally all become family.
Truly, which is a great way to end the series.
Because that's what it was all about. It was all about them,
Being a family.
but not just being a family, but also getting that tie legally.
Yeah, that was the one. If there was any antagonist in this, it really wasn't.
Government paperwork.
Yeah, exactly. It was government paperwork. It really wasn't like the moms in this were like the side antagonists. The true antagonist of this was
The fact that they couldn't legally adopt all of them as their children and get
that they couldn't truly be one true family. Yeah. And so that gets wrapped up in the end, where we all literally become one happy big family.
Yeah,
and how do they do that, Leia?
Little Big Bro's mother comes back in the picture. A lot of shit happens with her. It's complicated. You all watched it. You know what happened. She comes back in the picture. She eventually gets forgiveness. She ends up marrying Jian Jin's dad. So that means Little Big Bro and Jian Jin are aka siblings.
And they share a family registry
because
finally.
Yeah. And then obviously Big Bro and Jian Jin are going to get married. Right. So that means Jian Jin's dad, Jian Jin, Little Big Bro and Little Big Bro's dad are now all like
Big Bro.
Little Big Bro's dad are now just like together.
In-laws. They're in-laws.
Yeah, they're in-laws. So like everything comes to a head and it's just a perfect ending.
Yep. Now the brothers are truly brothers. The sister is truly a sister. You know, everything, even the dads are now family too, in a sense. So it is a perfect ending to this.
What are our overall thoughts on the drama?
I have to say that the one thing about this drama, we pointed out earlier, it wasn't specific moments that I come to when I think about this drama. Mm-hmm. It's the overwhelming feeling of warmth and love and that feeling again of coming home. Like when I am homesick, you know, I have family that lives in another state, so I can't easily go see them. But when I am homesick, one of the things I do is I actually watch this drama. And there's a sense of coming home when you watch this drama. So the strong bonds that we see and the types of love we see between, you know, we have the fatherly love, the sibling love.
The friendships. We forgot to talk about the friendships between the girls and how cute. Oh my God, guys, they were so cute with the way they become friendships. I mean, one was a smart girl, the other one was the dumb girl in high school, and they just became friends. And then the actress came in, and then they all live in the same apartment. We forgot to talk about that. So believable in their friendships.
Yes. The different levels of relationships and love that you see in this series is just, it makes you feel so warm inside.
The relationships of life.
The relationships of life. Yeah, exactly.
And this drama showcases that really well. The writing, the acting, the cinematography was really, really good.
So good.
Yeah, this is just a cute, chill slice of life drama that I just love to rewatch when I just want something cute.
So if you had to rate it 1 out of 10, what would you rate it?
This would be again a 9 out of 10, I think, just because of the lack of chemistry between the characters. I know it was a subplot, really. I wish there was a little bit more chemistry.
It's so funny you say that because I would also give it a 9 out of 10 for the same reason. Yeah. It is so close for a 10 for me. I love this drama. It is my favorite Chinese drama. Yeah. But I do have to still give it a 9 out of 10 because that chemistry that I was anticipating between the two love interests, even though it's a subplot, I was expecting more.
Yeah.
Now, it's
especially
funny.
Since it was like 20 episodes. Like,
the romance centered portion. Around the romance. Yeah, and it's funny because we just wrapped the podcast for Marry My Husband, where that romance is also a subplot.
Yeah. And it fell flat for me, not for her.
Not for me. So when I compare that, it's just funny because that worked in that instance, but it doesn't work here. And I think it's because even though the romance in this one was a subplot to the overall story, it was a significant subplot. And it just didn't hit. It just didn't hit.
I get it.
And that's a wrap up of Go Ahead. Thank you all for tuning in. Please go follow us on Instagram at All the Drama Podcast, and we made a Twitter at All the Drama Pod. We will be watching Bad Buddy next. It's a Thai drama, and it's one of our favorites. It's an enemies to lovers trope, and the chemistry we'll have to discuss in the next episode.
So until next time,
Happy drama watching.
bye. Guys.